Hi there, scholars. As we come back to try and finish up this book, today we're going to read chapter 28. Just a quick little recap. After Malika burned down Miss Saunders' classroom, she went home, she cried about it, she tried to hide it from her mom, but her mom eventually found out, as we could have probably predicted. And her mom has now told her that she's going to be responsible to pay back the school the $2,000 worth of damage. So she's dealing with that problem. And then also Char has called her and asked if she's going to tell, because right now the school only knows Malika is involved, and Malika has decided she is not going to tell on Char or the twins. So really Malika's got her hands full trying to figure out how to deal with this portion of her conflict. Meanwhile, this is all contributing to the resolution of her initial conflict, her first problem, in that she didn't feel confident or strong within herself. So as we read, be thinking about how her choices are reflecting a change in her conflict of not having self-confidence or being teased, and be looking for a theme or a lesson that she's going to learn along the way. Go ahead and go to Google Classroom, preview your assignment for Thursday, and then pull up your own copy of The Skin I'm In. Pause this until you're ready, and when you're ready, press play and we'll read together. Chapter 28. Mama's making me go to Sam's store around the corner, even though he ain't never got half the stuff Mama needs or wants. I think she's doing it on purpose, to embarrass me. She just needs some eggs and a slab of bacon for breakfast, she says. Yeah, right. I tell her I will get sweets to go with me. Mama says forget about it. She only wants me to go and then come right back home, and not take my own sweet time getting back. When I go outside, everybody's on their front stoops. Kids, mothers, fathers, cousins. And it seems like everybody's out there to ask me what happened and why a smart girl like me didn't know any better. When I get around the corner and see John's face, I know the day can't do nothing but get worse. Ooh, he says, strutting across the street like he's cool. You did it now. They ain't letting you back in school, are they? John keeps smiling. He's happy as can be. The worse things are for me, the better some folks like it. John's one of those people. I keep on stepping and counting cracks in the sidewalk while I walk. John offers me some gum. No way am I taking anything from him. At least you're keeping your mouth shut, he says, chewing on the gum. Squealing on your friends ain't even cool. I stop walking and stare him down. Ain't nobody to squeal on. I done it by myself. You don't have the guts, he says. They got the right person to pin it on, too. We all know you don't have guts enough to tell. Me and John are walking to the store side by side. I ain't talking, ain't even looking at him. Just walking, eyes down, legs pumping, brain busy thinking about all the mess I'm in. So I don't see some boys coming. They just show up all of a sudden, crowding in on me and John blocking out the sun with their serious big selves. They're after John. They say his big mouth got one of them busted for shoplifting. Next thing I know, they're whooping down on John. I'm screaming in my head, but nothing's coming out of my mouth. John's little short arms are stretched out, his hands are balled up, and he's hitting back as best he can, but there's still 3 against 1. John's losing big time. Nobody on the street is doing nothing to help him. They're just watching. John's already got a busted lip. His left eye is swollen and water, maybe tears, is running out of the right one. I'm standing there shaking my hands and arms like I'm fanning myself dry. John falls to the ground and covers his head with his arms. Those boys are stomping John good. Finally, I find my voice. I yell for somebody to call the cops, but folks just stare. I yell some more. Somebody runs inside their house. Blood. I see blood. John, he ain't saying nothing. Ain't moving either. All of a sudden, I'm remembering how those other boys messed with me on that day after Juju's party. And all of a sudden, it's like my body's taking orders from somebody else. I am running across the street and reaching into some overgrown bushes in front of the house on the corner. I'm pulling and pulling on one of the branches to make me a good switch. I break a few branches loose and run my hand up and down them to get the leaves off. Then I go back to John. One of them boys is looking at me, daring me to use the branches. My heart is hurting my chest, hurting it bad. My hands are burning from yanking and peeling back them leaves. My throat is so dry it's burning too. John. He's laying there still getting beat. Next thing I know, I'm hitting them boys. The first boy that I hit yells like a baby. His arm swells up quick. He gets himself off John fast and comes for me. I keep swinging and sweating and praying for the police to come. I hear the siren getting closer. Them next two boys are off John now, and all of them are coming for me. Coming. I drop the switch and I close my eyes. One boy's got his hands around my arm and squeezing it. The other one is cursing me good. I'm praying as hard as I can them police get here now, only I don't hear no siren no more. They gone to somebody else's house, I think. Gone and left me here to die. Them boys saying they're gonna beat me worse than they beat John. I ain't saying nothing. My eyes are closed and pee is about to pour out of me like water. Then I hear some other people talking. Grown-ups. All of a sudden I hear a pop and a slap, and them boys let me loose and start running. When I open my eyes, they're halfway down the block, and Caleb's standing there. Him and his mama and a whole bunch of grown-ups from the block. Seems like they come right out of thin air. Ain't gonna have no girls being beat half to death not around here, says some old man. They got brooms and bats and shovel. Caleb, he's helping John up, telling him he can come in his house and get cleaned up. John looks a mess, but he's gonna be all right. Caleb's mama asks if I'm okay, if I want to come on inside. No, I say. I have to go home and let Mama know what happened. I don't say nothing to Caleb. I just give him a weak smile. Me? I'm feeling lucky he came along like he did. John's always talking about how black I am. Well, I'm still the blackest thing in school. And it was me who saved his butt today. People are helping John inside Caleb's house, like he's some baby learning to walk. I'll take myself home. I don't have to tell Mama much. The story gets to her before I walk in the door. She says she was just about to come for me. She makes me tell her the story 3 times before she lets me go to my room. After I'm there a while, Mama knocks on my door. A letter just came for you. It's from the library. You owe them money? She asks softly. I push open the bedroom door before Mama says another word. I snatch the envelope out of her hands. Dear Miss Madison, congratulations. The 3rd Annual Young Writers Committee at the Martin Malcolm Library is pleased to announce you as the winner of this year's contest. I show Mama the letter. The letter goes on and on about how many people entered and how they're going to put my writing on display in the library lobby for a whole month. I stand there a while, fingering the puffed up gold letters at the top of the page and reading the letter over and over again. Mama and me both look at each other. All of a sudden, Mama starts crying big, fat tears. I don't have to ask her why. I know. We both wishing Daddy was here, for the good stuff and the bad. Okay, so even though Malika's got these new bigger conflicts, we're still watching the initial conflict about her having this low self-esteem and lack of confidence. We watch her kind of struggle with who she should align herself with, what relationships are helping her, and her quest to find some better amounts of strength within herself, some courage. Sorry about Princess Jasmine in the background. And then her relationship with Char ultimately leads her to accidentally burn down Miss Saunders' classroom. And now we're here in the following action, and we're having to ask ourselves, how will the climactic event, the event of burning down Miss Saunders' classroom, change the conflict for Malika, and what will she learn? And we're kind of watching her regret her decision and struggle with what to do next. But we've seen some really big changes from Malika in this chapter. In fact, that's the question that I've asked you when you go back and do your assignment is, what changes do you see in Malika specifically? I'm thinking about the incident with John John. She doesn't like John John. John John doesn't like her. We've never seen a positive interaction from the two of them. And while this event, I would not call it positive, we do see Malika step in for John John. We see her take a lot of courage and strength in a really tough situation. She doesn't run away. She doesn't leave him. She helps, even when she's the only one who will help. We also find at the end of this chapter, her and Mama are both starting to acknowledge that there are good times. So far, there's only been bad from Malika's point of view. But now she says she wishes Dad were here for the good times and the bad, meaning she is seeing some sort of a light, some sort of a positivity here. Okay, so she's starting to change quite a bit, starting to find some courage. And so we're just going to keep watching it. We're still in the following action. And we're going to start to think about what she's learned and what's causing her to learn that. And then the theme is ultimately what we learn from Malika's story as well. Okay, so I hope to see you back here for the next chapter. I'm actually going to do the next two chapters together, 29 and 30. And then the following video will be 31 and 32, which is the end of the book. So we're almost to that resolution. I hope that you stick with it. And I will see you soon for the next couple chapters. Bye, guys.